I like to think about the benefits of outsourcing in a lot of different ways, depending on your timeline and age and stage of your company. We often hear people say, "Oh, you can't build your startup with outsourced labor." Well, Slack did, and they got huge, fast, high valuation. They later bought and built internal teams using outsourced development, got them access to expertise that could move fast and deliver high quality. So I would say core benefits, number one, access to specialized expertise. Just get senior talent for specific things without a full-time commitment and get the job done and get it done right. Another benefit of outsourcing is just elastic, flexible scalability. Sometimes your workloads as a company ebb and flow. If you carry an entire FTE staff, oftentimes we see the examples of or the evidence of companies just making work for staff when they don't need those. Like if you have 10 designers and you do a redesign and you ship the whole new redesign, what do you do with the 10 designers now? You start doing the next redesign is what you start doing, right? If you outsource those designers, maybe you don't need to spend money on that needlessly, right? So kind of scale up, scale down, and on project basis and with less HR overhead. You're not dealing with benefits and onboarding and company policies. Cost optimization can be a reason to outsource software development. It's not just lower rates. I think that's a big mistake a lot of companies have, is they take my salary and divide it by 2,000 and say that's how much I cost per hour. And then they compare it to a contractor outside and say, is he cheaper or more expensive? But there's all kinds of costs in recruiting, training, benefits, PTO, idle time, sick days, not to mention the quality of the individuals. Just on those mechanical things alone, you can look at outsourcing strategically as a cost optimization. And in lower rate areas, you can look at just labor arbitrage. Sometimes there's a benefit to outsourcing software development to just get fresh perspective. An external team might bring best practices from multiple clients and industries that apply to you. For example, at Facet, we've done big, massive global data ETL warehouse, lakehouse, analytics projects across disparate data sources for all kinds of industries. We've done it in trucking telematics. We've done it in shipping and logistics. We've done it in pharmaceutical research. We've done it in oil and gas pipelines. And each one has its own domain specialty. But if you're going to hire someone to come in and help you solve this deep data problem that you have, having someone work on it that's seen 100 different deep data problems, as opposed to maybe worked on one at their last job and worked on one at their current job, you might just get more perspective and more industry experience from an outsourced team that's had lots of exposure. I also think sometimes companies use outsourcing software as a risk mitigation technique. I joke sometimes that people hire contractors so that if it screws up, you can blame the contractor and get a different contracting firm, and kind of CYA for myself. That's only half joke. I mean, I know some people might feel that way, but really what I think, there's certain project risks that you can push off to partners with proven track records. If you're building something that is got to be HIPAA compliant, bring in a team that has built HIPAA compliant stuff over and over and over again. You're just going to reduce that risk. And you can potentially even get contractual risk mitigation, where they say, we will indemnify you against these kinds of risks because we're the experts, you've hired us to build it. That's another good opportunity. And then I would say one of the biggest reasons I see for outsourcing software development is just preserve focus of your internal teams. Let them stay on your core product, your core IP. Let partners handle auxiliary systems. So if you're Gusto and you're making a payroll software, and now you need to integrate with 100 different general ledgers with QuickBooks and Xero and Intact, and have your core architecture team be competent at your Gusto technology and what you do. Build a nice interface, and then just have external teams who don't need to understand your entire business come out and just bang out the auxiliary pieces like connectors to all those systems. Preserve focus of your core team. That's a pretty good list. Specialized expertise, elastic scalability in the team, opportunities to optimize costs and mitigate risks, getting that fresh perspective, a breadth of industries, and keeping your core team on core things.